Hi children, I welcome you all for the today's English class. Today we are going to see the 5th chapter from your Honeydee book. The title of the chapter is The Summit Within, written by H.P.S. Ahluwalia. Let's start up with the intro video from your teacher.
Hi children, how are you? I welcome you all for the today's session. Today we are going to see grade 8 English chapter 5 prose. The title of the prose is The Summit Within, written by H.P.S. Ahluwalia. So let me ask you a question children. When we talk about mountain, what are the things that comes to your mind? So here a few things for you. First, here the mountains will be strong, the mountains will be tall, rough, and it will be beautiful with trees. Summit means it's a peak of mountain. So here in this story, the summit within, about H.P.S. Ahluwalia, while he was climbing the mountain, he faced so many hurdles, and he is not only faced physical problems, but he faced so many mental problems also, such as a mountain of fear, mountain of negativity, mountain of nervousness, that is inside, one who faced inside the person, so many mountains he faced. So in this story, we are going to see about H.P.S. Ahluwalia, who is the mountaineer, and he faced so many problems while he was climbing the mountain. Let's see in the video.
As a motivation, let us all listen to the video that H.P.S. Ahluwalia, who is sharing his own experiences about the mountaineering.
When I came out, I saw at 6 o'clock in the morning, saw that there was a huge avalanche and everything was covered. That camp was totally, you couldn't even see, and that devastated us a lot. Because we were not worried about the tent or anything else, only the oxygen cylinder. About 19-20 cylinders were buried. So nobody could go up. So then the leader had a hard choice to make. He said that, look, it is not possible and we need to wind up the camp now. But then, kept on digging for 2 hours, couldn't get anything. Then suddenly my axe hit a cylinder, ting, that sound came. That was I knew it is an oxygen cylinder. So then Phudorji was lined up with me, and we together stepped on the summit. It was around minus 30 degrees at that time. But there's a job to be done when you're on the summit. Certain photographs you have to take from north, south, etc. Because on Everest, if I don't take the pictures, people can say you haven't done. We had a movie camera, Pilot Bolex. It stopped working 50 feet below the summit. And that again annoyed us. So we had to keep it 50 feet down. Phudorji with me, he said throw it down in the Chinese side, let the Chinese have it. We were feeling hungry, so thoda gadda kiya, uske se chocolate nikal gaya, tip ke upar thoda wo kiya, and there was a packet of chocolate. So we all sort of shared with that. I mean, just to put it, it's humility. You are very humbled by looking at the entire universe, because fortunately that day the weather was to be very bad. So we said to hell with it, we will go. But the weather was beautiful, bright weather. This is the first time we thought the weather gods had gone wrong. So it was beautiful, so we could take beautiful picture. And suddenly the Phudorji brought a lovely cup of coffee for me. I said, hey, where is this from? He said, no, I carried it in my thermos. So this is a present from me. So little we had, whatever was with him.
That's all from the motivation, children. Let's see about the narrator, who is none other than H.P.S. Ahluwalia. Let's see about the narrator, H.P.S. Ahluwalia. In full, Major Harry Paul Singh Ahluwalia. He was born in the year 6 November 1936 in Sialkot, Pakistan. He is a mountaineer, author, social worker, and retired Indian Army officer. His main contributions to the field adventure, sports, environment, disability, and social work. He has received awards like Padma Bhushan Award, Arjuna Award, National Award, and he has won Tenzing Norgay National Adventure Award in the year August 29, 2009. And he has written books like Higher Than Everest, Beyond the Himalayas, and Everest Within You. Before getting into the text, let's see the warm-up. Let's read the warm-up before you read. Major H.P.S. Ahluwalia was a member of the first successful Indian expedition to Mount Everest in the year 1965. How did he feel when he stood on the highest point in the world? Let us hear his story in his words. Climbing the summit and then the more difficult task of climbing the summit within. Let's start reading the text now. Of all the emotions which surged through me as I stood on the summit of Everest. Surged means arose suddenly and intensely. Looking over miles of panorama. Panorama means a view of a wide area below us. The dominant one, I think, was humility. Humility means humbleness. And the summit means peak of the mountain, as I told you before. The physical in me seemed to say, thank God, it's all over. However, instead of being jubilant, jubilant means very happy because of success. There was a ting of sadness. Ting means trace or shade of sadness. Was it because I had already done the ultimate in climbing and there would be nothing higher to climb, and all roads hereafter would lead down? By climbing the summit of Everest, you are overwhelmed. Overwhelmed means touched or moved by a deep sense of joy and thankfulness. It is a joy which lasts a lifetime. The experience changes you completely. The man who has been to the mountains is never the same again. As I look back at life after climbing Everest, I cannot help remarking about the other summit. The summit of the mind, no less formidable and no easier to climb. Even when getting down from the summit, once the physical exhaustion means fatigue or tiredness, had gone, I began asking myself the question, why I had climbed Everest? Why did the act of reaching the summit have such a hold on my imagination? It was already சனியனே நெட்டு வேறு ஆண்டில் இருக்குது. அதுக்கு மெசேஜ் வந்து தொலைஞ்சிச்சு. ஃப்ளைட் மோடில் போட்டுரும். It was already a thing of the past, something done yesterday. With every passing day, it would become more remote. And then, what would remain? Would my memories fade slowly away? All these thoughts led me to the question myself as to why people climb mountains. It is not easy to answer the question. The simplest answer would be, as others have said, because it is there. It presents great difficulty. Man takes delight in overcoming obstacles. Obstacles means hurdle or barrier. The obstacles in climbing a mountain are physical, but a climb to the summit means endurance. Endurance means stamina, persistence and willpower. Persistence means continuation and willpower is determination. The demonstration of these physical qualities is no doubt exhilarating as it was for me also. Exhilarating means very exciting. See the explanation of these paragraphs. Here in the starting, the author now he is at the peak of the Everest. That is the summit of Everest, and as he stood there, he looks at the views around him. There are various emotions inside him. The most dominant one of is humility. He faced humble when he understands already there on the top of the world. His physical body was exhausted and he said, "Thank God." Now, at that point of time, he should be happy. There was a mixture of emotions inside him. There was happiness and there was sadness. The happiness, he overcome that the mountain with difficulties and reached the peak of the mountain. But the sadness, now he felt after that point when he was going down, there is no climbing up. He expresses when one who climbs the mountain, that experiences change the person completely. He is joyful and he is thankful to the God. He asked some questions to himself. Why at the first place he decided to climb Everest? As Everest being the most difficult and the highest mountain in the world, he has the willpower, endurance and persistence which keeps him going to the top. Let's see the author's answer now. I have a more personal answer to the question. From my childhood, I have been attracted by mountains. I had been miserable. Miserable means unhappy or sad, lost, when away from the mountains in the plains. Mountains are nature at its best. Their beauty and majesty means royalty, pose a great challenge and like many. I believe that mountains are the means of communion with God. Communion means a state of feeling that is very close relationship. Feeling of close relationship is called communion. Once having granted this, the question remains, why Everest? Because it is the highest, the mightiest. Mightiest means strongest and has defied many previous attempts. Defied means frustrated or resisted. It takes the last ounce of one's energy. Ounce means a unit of measurement. It is a brutal struggle with rock and ice. Brutal means harsh struggle with rock and ice. Once taken up, it cannot be given up halfway even when one's life is at stake. At stake means at risk. The passage back is as difficult as the passage onwards. And then when the summit is climbed, there is the exhilaration, the joy of having done something, the sense of the battle fought and won. There is a feeling of victory and of happiness, glimpsing a peak in the distance. Glimpsing means watching a peak in the distance. I get transported to another world. I experience a challenge within myself, which can only be called mystical. Mystical means spiritual. By its beauty, aloofness, might, ruggedness, and the difficulties encountered on the way. Aloofness means being remote. Might means strength. Ruggedness means roughness. Encountered means met or come face to face. The peak draws me to it as Everest did. It is a challenge that is difficult to resist. Resist means oppose. Looking back, I find that I have not yet fully explained why I climbed Everest. It is like answering a question, why you breathe? Why do you help your neighbor? Why do you want to do good acts? There is no final answer possible. And then there is a fact that Everest is not just a physical climb. The man who has been to the mountain top becomes conscious in a special manner of his own smallness in this large universe. The physical conquest means defeat of a mountain, is only one part of the achievement. There is more to it than that. It is followed by a sense of fulfillment. Fulfillment means satisfaction. There is the satisfaction of a deep urge to rise above one's surroundings. It is the eternal love for adventure in man. Eternal means unending. The experience is not merely physical, it is emotional and it is spiritual also. See the explanation of these paragraphs. Here in these passages, the author from his childhood days, he always attracted towards the mountain. He used to miss mountains whenever he was in the plains. And that's the reason why he wanted to climb the most difficult mountain in the world. Of course, it was easy for him, but there were places which he was tiring and exhausted. Yet, he did that because after reaches the mighty summit of the mountain, he got the feeling of satisfaction inside him, a fear of joy inside him also, while he was climbing and descending the experience that changed him completely. Climbing a mountain is not just a physical climb. After he reaches the summit, he could observe the smallest in this vast universe. In that point of time, he realized that he is a small dot in this big universe. Even he might have wealth, prosperity, and everything, he thought of himself as a happiest man in the world. There comes the nature as he is a small dot there. The author always says that reaching the summit is not only physical and also spiritual. See the next paragraphs. Consider a typical climb towards the summit on the last heights. You are sharing a rope with another climber, Euphraim. He cuts the step in the hard ice. Then he belays and you inch your way up. Belays means fixes a rope. Frimin means make yourself firm, that is strong. The climb is grim. Grim means depressing. You strain every nerve as you take every step. Famous climbers have left records of the help given by others. They have also recorded how they needed just that help. Else, they might have given up. Breathing is difficult. You curse yourself for having let yourself in for this. You wonder why you ever undertook the ascent. Ascent means climb. There are moments when you feel like going back. Looking round from the summit, you tell yourself that it was worthwhile. Worthwhile means important. Other silvery peaks appear through the clouds. If you are lucky, the sun may be on them. The surrounding peaks look like a jeweled necklace around the neck of your summit. Below you see vast valleys sloping into the distance. It is an ennobling means honoring, enriching experience to just look down from the summit of the mountain. You bow down and make your obeisance to whichever God you worship. Make your obeisance. Obeisance means show your obedience or submission. I left on Everest a picture of Guru Nanak. Rawat left a picture of goddess Durga. Pudurji left a relic of the Buddha. Edmund Hillary had buried a cross under the cairn. Cairn means heap of rocks and stones in the snow. These are not symbols of conquest but of reverence. Reverence means respect. See the explanation of these paragraphs. In this part of the passages, the author explains how mountaineering and climbing mountain is not just an individual task. It is actually a team effort. You are sharing a team of hope to the another team of members. One will cut the ice for another step when you put your feet into it. So it's not very easy job to accomplish this task. And each of the team members took responsibility to motivate the other person to climb up. Because climbing a difficult mountain can be depressing. And that can be a moment when one tries to give up. When Arthur and his expedition reached the summit, the first thing he did was to give respect to their respective god. The author left picture of Guru Nanak, and Raut, who left the picture of goddess Durga. Paudurji left relic of Buddha, and Edmund Hillary, who buried a cross under the heap of rocks and stones. It is not a symbol of conquest, but it was a symbol of respect to their God Almighty. Let's read the concluding passages of the prose, the summit within. The experience of having climbed to the summit changes you completely. There is another summit. It is within yourself. It is in your own mind. Each man carries within himself his own mountain peak. He must climb it to reach it to the fuller knowledge of himself. It is fearful and unscalable. It cannot be climbed by anyone else. You yourself have to do it. The physical act of climbing to the summit of the mountain outside is akin. Akin means similar to the act of climbing the mountain within. The effects of both the climbs are the same. Whether the mountain you climb is physical or emotional and spiritual, the climb will certainly change you. It teaches you much about the world and about yourself. I venture to think that my experience as an Everester has provided me with the inspiration to face life's ordeals. Ordeal means painful experience, and resolutely. Resolutely means within determination and firmness. Climbing the mountain was a worthwhile experience. The conquest of the internal summit is equally worthwhile. The internal summits are perhaps higher than Everest. H.P.S. Ahluwalia. See the explanation of these paragraphs. And here again the author says that climbing a mountain changes every man, just as there are summit outside, there are summit within. Summit within you and summit within me and summit within every one of us. It is our responsibility to reach that summit, and once you reach, you overcome all your negativity, your mental blocks inside you. You are a changed person again. It teaches us about the world and yourself. In the last paragraph, the author tells that climbing Everest was a very important event of his life. It is as difficult as to climb the summit within. Both are equally important. But this event or this adventure that he has undergone has brought so much of courage inside him that he is ready to face life's any challenge. Let's listen to the moral now. It is important to climb the summit within to achieve success in life. Before you move on to your life's adventure, it is important to first climb your own mount or summit which is inside you. First, remove the negativity. Remove the question that comes to your mind and says, "Can I do it? Is it okay for me? Do I have the capability?" Overcome those questions first, and once you do that, you overcome your own fears of underestimating yourself, and only then you can reach the summit outside. So, children, be optimistic always. Don't be a pessimist and underestimate yourself, your capability and capacity to reach the summit within yourself. That's all from the lesson The Summit Within, written by H.P.S. Aluwalia. So, children, that's all from Prose 5, The Summit Within. Write the classwork neatly and send it through Teachment, children. Learn the question answers thoroughly, which was given. Follow the instruction carefully and do it accordingly.